All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show that makes you feel like, hey, I'm not so bad after all. This is Keyboard Warriors presented by CrossroadsMMA.com. I am your host, Eddie Law. You know these guys, starting with the man straight out of Ohio from Stand and Bang MMA and Gem City Fighting, Fred Kirby. Fred, how's it going?
Fantastic. How are y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. And also from Stand and Bang MMA, Aaron Robbins. How you doing, man?
I am fantastic. Apparently, always look grumpy, but I'm actually doing very well.
It's like a permanent thing for you now.
Hey, well, before we get started, I want to say that I went to plain old Gary's timeline.
Yeah.
And a little off-putting, he has a picture of each of us live captured from one of the shows.
Oh, shit.
I'm hoping it's not a hit list.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
He's
not that clever.
He is funny, though. I'll give him that. Anyway, all right. Let's start it off with basically what was the only MMA event on television this last weekend on Friday night, unless I missed something else. Bellator 141. Melvin Gillard was upset by Brandon Gertz, who basically used the ground game to score points, and he took a split decision win over Gillard. I had it as a unanimous decision over, for Gertz. Did either one of you bother to even watch this?
Nope.
And here's my point. And here's my point with this Bellator shit. That card just sucked. Like top to bottom, it kind of sucked.
All right, here's the thing. I really did want to watch it. I ended up having an obligation out of town that went about an hour and a half longer than I expected. And even though I told the people I was with I had to go home and watch MMA, they were like, fuck MMA. What do you mean? Stay here and have fun. And I'm like, fuck MMA. You're lucky it's Bellator.
Fuck you guys.
You're a bunch of fucking not knowing pricks is what it is. And then I was like, wow, it's a Bellator headlined by Melvin Gillard. Yeah, I can stay. I can stay a little while longer, fuck it.
All right, well, I'll basically fill you in just really fast. The Gillard fight sucked. The Patricky Pitbull fight sucked. The only fight that was actually kind of fun was actually, and I'm pulling it up right now, is the Marloes Conan fight where she almost pulled this chick's arm out of her fucking socket with an arm bar in the second round. That was legit.
Did Pitbull keep his title?
Yeah, he did. He did. Unanimous decision, but the fight sucked. And
there you go.
Then he called out Will Brooks, though, I think.
Well, what a surprise. They've been yapping at each other since we had Brooks on the show.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think Will Brooks in that one.
Actually, their interactions on Twitter is pretty funny. So if anybody's watching this right now and you want to go back in the timeline, just wait. It's going to heat up. The Twitter battle will be hilarious between those two.
I think they need each other, too, man. Bellator doesn't got a whole lot of shit happening right now for either guy. Fuck it. Let them fight.
In fact, Bellator doesn't have much of anything going on until Dynamite, right?
They're not in
their whole wad.
They're not in the same weight class. How's that going to work out? Isn't there a Pitbull in Will Brooks' weight class and another Pitbull that's a weight class below? There's Patricio and Patricky.
Yeah. This is Patricky we're talking about.
One of them's a shitbird, right? Seriously. One of them doesn't count, right? He's like Diet Bob.
They would both whip your ass.
Well, of course they would. That's not the fucking question. The bartender on the street could probably kick my ass.
Anyway, so
right.
Go ahead. Yeah, well, this Bellator card pretty much sucked, completely from top to bottom. Although we did have the big pygmy coming back, Justin Wren, for anyone that remembers. Justin Wren finally came back to fight. Dude's been, I think he was in the Congo, right?
Yeah.
Working with the pygmies.
I heard about that. That story's tight, at least. He's not a very fantastic fighter.
He works with him to get him clean water and shit. Oh, my God, it's MJ.
Holy shit. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, also from Crossroads MMA, the man, the myth, the legend with the Michael Jackson voice. He's likely sipping on some Peaches juice. Nick Pilecki, what's up, dude?
Hey, are we going to... Oh, sorry, Nick. Hey, are we going to put on the live chat for fucking Davey Boy?
I have the actual video popped up. So I'm watching the chat right now.
All right.
Okay, got you.
All right. So Nick, what's up, dude? You finally got the internet working?
Yeah, fighting with my internet, but it finally kicked in the last minute, so perfect time.
Did you get Andrew Reed's latest tweet?
Yeah, of course we did. Fucking good evening, Andrew, you mouthy twat. Did I say that right?
Yeah, twat. Looks like a hippopotamus shit on your head.
Yeah. You know what? Fred takes fucking pride on that shit too.
I like
Are we gonna fucking talk about
I'm trying.
Yeah, we can just completely fuck the show off tonight.
Let's just shit on the man bun and the Michael Jackson voice.
Steer the fucking ship, Eddie. Jesus Christ.
I'm working. Chill the fuck out. All right. Nick, did you watch Bellator at all?
No, not at all. I didn't care.
Yeah,
I watched
Bellator sucks.
I watched the Melvin Gillard fight and saw how he still can't defend a takedown and that he's overrated.
How could he be overrated? He is like the worst fighter.
Exactly. Everyone, Bellator picked him up thinking, oh, we got a person, we got someone that can knock people out, put butts in seats. No, he's still boring as shit, and no.
No, he's a great example of wasted potential.
Yeah, exactly.
When he came off of the Tough Show, he had all the potential in the world. If he'd had the right focus, Gillard could have been something, but it's bad personality, man.
Yeah.
He's a great example of people we shouldn't talk about on this show because he's as irrelevant as I am.
No, it's true. And so again, Bellator's probably not gonna be very relevant until at least the Dynamite show, where they're gonna have that's the one where they have Tito Ortiz and they have the 4 light heavyweights fighting. So
and then the K1 what is it? Glory fighting too. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, oh, fucking A, Davey. All right, so I got to check the fucking chat here.
Is the chat working?
Apparently it's not working, so all right, fuck it. Let's keep talking here, and I'll keep working on the issue here. Another thing that came out, actually, I guess news broke today, if you want to call it that. Big Nog retired, one of the greatest heavyweights in MMA history, officially retired today at the age of 39, official record of 34-10-1 and 1 no contest. 17-year career that ended with a decision loss to Stefan Struve in Brazil at UFC 190. Big Nog's actually going to move into a position with the UFC as a talent scout and ambassador for the sport and the promotion. All right, Fred, what's your favorite memory from Big Nog's career?
My favorite memory from his career is probably the Pride days, man. Like, actually, it's going to sound kind of fucking silly, but his win over Bob Sapp. Yeah. When he took that fucking vicious beating. I mean, in hindsight, it doesn't really matter much, but at the time, like, it was fucking crazy watching him take a beating like that and then submitting a fucking massive human being. It was tight, man. I love that shit.
What about you, Aaron?
His arm getting snapped by Frank Mir.
You see.
No, what was my favorite Minotauro fight? I don't know, man. He's just a legend in the sport. I wish he wouldn't have fought so long because there's so much that he did in Pride, so much that he did when he got over to the UFC. I like all of his fights. I really don't like the freak show fight against Bob Sapp. I don't like any of the fights against Bob Sapp. That guy was the biggest joke ever. That's worse than trying to watch Herschel Walker pretend he's an MMA fighter. But I don't know why this is news. Weren't we made aware that he would be retiring after the fight? Dana didn't give him any choice. He said, you're not fighting anymore. We're going to give you a desk job. So people are putting this up like it's breaking news. We knew about this 6 weeks ago.
Right. But that's after the fight. Dana White said he had asked Big Nog to retire, and then supposedly it was I guess counted as pretty much done. And then Big Nog comes out and says he wasn't sure, and then today finally announced it was official. So yeah, you're right. We kind of knew about this, but it finally made it official today. And then Davey Boy tweets over, hopefully Big Nog can clean up the UFC scene in Brazil. Hashtag clean Brazilians. Actually, I had a few Brazilians get pissed off at me on Twitter for saying that Eric Silva looked human finally.
Oh my God, he didn't look human. He looked deflated. You see those side-by-sides?
Oh, yeah.
Of him when he was obviously on the gear and then obviously off. We got to get this group chat thing working. What the hell's going on? I'm the only one on it. I say hello, cunts. Nobody said hi to me.
It says code blue IFL test. Hold up. I'm on the YouTube chat right now.
YouTube chat?
Yeah, on the video.
Is for us.
That's what he's talking about.
What the fuck is going on? What are we talking about? All right, yeah, Big Nog's owned. He got took out behind the barn. The fucking next topic with the group chat. I don't even know what the fuck y'all are talking about. Why does it say hi on my screen? What are y'all doing to me?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're figuring this shit out. I mean, if you watch the show at all, we've clearly fucking blew up the fourth wall a long time ago. Well, one quick question then about this, Aaron. Again, we were talking about how Dana White asked Big Nog to retire after the event. You're one of the people that doesn't like to say, oh, so-and-so should retire because it's not really up to you, and you don't feel like you should be telling fighters when they retire. Dana White apparently feels like he should. I mean, what do you think of that aspect? Dana White's asked numerous fighters to retire after the fight. Chuck Liddell and now Big Nog. What do you think of that? Like, should he actually be doing that?
Yeah. You know what? Actually, as much as we like to vilify Dana White, everybody, oh, he's a villain, he's a shyster, he's a crook, he really does seem to care about fighters and what they have left going on in their brain pan after their career. And I think a lot of times when he suggests that a fighter retire, it's either because he knows they've gone past their expiration date and they're looking to get injured, or because he knows there's no chance of them ever making a run at the title or being top ranked. And at this point, it just isn't worth it. They're not putting butts in seats. It's not good for the organization. It's not good for their family. And especially in Big Nog, yeah, I mean, I think all of us here on the panel agreed that we didn't want to see him fight again to take that damage. Sometimes guys just don't know when to say when. And, if arguably the biggest promoter in MMA and one of the owners of the UFC stops by and says, look, we would rather put you in a desk and take care of you. In that situation, absolutely, yeah. Hats off to Dana White for that because it was the 100% the right decision.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's just I don't know. It's weird to see Dana White to go out of his way again because the last time we saw him do it, in this kind of big name was Chuck Liddell. But
but it is his job to promote fights. And if there's somebody out there that the whole fucking, all the fans are calling that he needs to quit, and everybody was saying that shit after the fight, oh, Big Nog should hang it up, Big Nog should hang it up, it's going to be hard to promote a fight with that dude. You know what I'm saying? So, what the fuck? He's got to do his fucking job.
For sure. And we actually got a couple tweets here. Let me get to them real fast. Plain old Gary says he's going to miss the Bruce Buffer Big Nog intros. That's his favorite part.
Yeah. We did love the way he would say, Minotauro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on from Big Nog here, let's talk about Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm. Dana White tweeted out a couple of nights ago, and it prompted a million retweets that he's going to be on SportsCenter breaking news. So of course, like a fucking idiot, I jumped on the SportsCenter thinking, oh shit, Jose Aldo pulling out of a fight again, or are they finally signing Fedor? Nope. He announces that Rousey vs. Holm got moved to UFC 193 in Melbourne because Robbie Lawler injured his thumb and had to pull out of the fight versus Carlos Condit. Starting with the lesser-known Heitor Emelianenko, which of course we all know who that is this the UFC trying to hype up another fight that will be very one-sided and trying to break these records they say they have? Because I haven't seen any UFC records, any official thing online or anything. But Aaron, I mean, is this just all hype up for nothing?
Yes.
That's exactly the kind of answers we like from Mr. Robbins.
I mean, even if you are the most lackadaisical MMA casual, you know that the potential for action between Robbie Lawler and Carlos Condit far outshines the one-way destruction of Ronda Rousey embarrassing the fuck out of Holly Holm. And I'm sorry, with all the record-breaking this and that, Ronda's got a lot of star power, depending on who she's up against. After what she did with Betch, I'm guessing we don't even see the numbers that we did when that was the main event, Ronda versus Betch. I think we're actually going to see a dip in numbers for Holly Holm, because now I'm starting to watch on social media that even the fans that don't really give a shit are all up in arms about a woman who has 2 fights in the UFC, 2 lackluster performances getting thrown to an undefeated Ronda Rousey. Everybody's getting to the point where they believe that they are protecting their cash cows, is what's going on. And people lose interest really quick. You know what I mean? Obviously, Holly Holm did not deserve that fight. There needed to be some sort of #1 contender eliminator, and there wasn't. Like I told you, I really do think that the UFC brass thought that Jessica Ai was going to get past Miesha Tate, and that was going to be the next broad thrown to Ronda Rousey's wood chipper. When that didn't happen, they switched gears and said, "Nah, Miesha, we're not doing the third fight." Holly Holm, everybody really seems to like Holly Holm. They did when she came into the UFC before everybody realized she was a point fighter. Now everybody's like, well, maybe she'll control the distance and this and that. No, Ronda Rousey is going to whip her ass real fast.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, okay. The what's called the records that they're talking about breaking, they're actually having this fight in a stadium in Melbourne, right? I haven't looked up to see how many seats it fills or what they're trying to do.
70,000.
There you go, 70,000 seats. Fred, does that fight fill a 7,000 seat stadium?
I don't know. Maybe. Ronda Rousey's a big star. You know what I'm saying? Anything's possible. I got no idea how big she is in Australia, though. That's kind of a stretch. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Fred, she's the same size no matter what continent she's on.
That's fucking clever. That's clever. Listen, here's the funny thing. I don't know why anybody buys it when Dana White says he's got a big announcement. I didn't even get fucking fired up. No, seriously. He does this every time. And every time we think he signed Fedor or he signed fucking Brock or you think there's going to be this big cool thing that happens, and then they tell you some motherfucking bullshit. I remember I seen that shit on Twitter. Ooh, Ronda Rousey's now fighting in Australia. It's the same opponent. Who gives a motherfuck? I don't care if they fight in Vegas, Australia, or the fucking moon. The fight is still...
No. If they said that they were fighting on the fucking moon, that's a big goddamn deal right there, pal. Fight on the fucking moon.
They can fly that hole in Venus for all I care. I don't give a fuck. She's still gonna take a fucking beating.
The first fucking weightless cage fight. I'll tune into that son of a bitch. Ronda Rousey has a distinct disadvantage if she's not on the ground, if they're all floating around. What the fuck? Did you just die?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All right, Nick. Let's talk about the Robbie Lawler versus Carlos Condit. We lost that fight, and I think I was talking to you on chat when they announced it. What do you think of that?
See, well, first of all, Dana didn't even announce that on ESPN.
Right.
He just announced that Ronda Rousey's fighting Holly Holm, which I knew, and then she'd fight in Melbourne. I think they'll sell out the stadium because Andrew even said it. It's their first time in Melbourne, so of course I think they're gonna sell out the stadium. I'm kind of upset. We're not going to get that fight now. We're going to get it later, but I was really excited for that Robbie Lawler Carlos Condit fight. I really like Robbie Lawler, especially after his last fight with Roy, and Carlos Condit's always a killer. So it was going to be an entertaining fight, but we're not going to get it, which sucks. But Fred said it and Aaron said it. Ronda Rousey's going to destroy and keep destroying until either Cyborg comes along and she's going to keep destroying. So we're just waiting for her to retire now at this point.
I will say, Aaron, go fuck yourself. I do disagree with you on one thing. I think you're wrong about the dip in numbers. I think that the numbers will go up, and I think that her fights will continue to slowly go up until she gets like a Cyborg fight. But as long as she keeps winning and she keeps building this mystique, she's got the Tyson effect right now, man. You ain't going to miss the fight, you cute little cocksucker.
But I'm not going to pay for it either.
Always with the fucking pirate in. Either way.
Ever do.
I'll tell you what. The numbers will be good, but only for the reason that this is the inaugural event and all of the Aussies are going to flock because they're like, crikey, there's something going on in Australia. It's happening over there besides fucking kangaroos. But no, I don't agree with the Mike Tyson effect. Because there's such a because there's such a small talent pool. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? I think that the people are going to get really sick of the wood chipper thing.
No, I do not know what you mean. Name 5 dudes that Mike Tyson knocked out.
Trevor Berbick. Jordan.
Oh yeah, no, you fucking keep going.
I'm working. Get the fuck out.
I'm working.
Damn it! I can't. I fucking use. I actually know this shit. And I can't remember it right now.
Yeah, anyway. Well, even if you fucking Googled it, motherfucker, nobody else would know who they was, and it doesn't matter because he slayed them. And as long as Ronda keeps killing these hoes, her mystique will build.
No, I mean Aaron's right though. The level of skill between Tyson's opponents and Ronda's opponents is vastly different. But I get what you're saying. No one's really gonna give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean that's debatable as far as it goes, but it doesn't matter anyways. It's competition.
Hey, let me tell you what. He knocked out Peter McNeely. That was a big deal. That was his first one. You don't remember that? That was his first one out of prison. He knocked out Peter McNeely in like 4 seconds, and then they had Peter McNeely on a stuffed crust pizza commercial, Pizza Hut. And when McNeely turned the pizza around, the crust hit him and knocked him out. You guys fucking remember that shit?
I remember that. That's got to be on YouTube somewhere.
That's the fucking truth, man. He goes to turn around to eat crust first, bang. Crust hits him and he fucking falls down. Classic.
Oh, for sure. And Davey Boy says, serious note, Robbie doesn't have a thumb injury. The UFC just moved his fight on another card. And yeah, I mean, all I read was that he injured his thumb and he couldn't fight. So I mean, he might be right. Who knows? But
why would we listen to Davey Boy?
You know, that's a good point. Fuck you, dude. What the fuck are you doing? Trying to mess up this shit.
Davey Boy has the inside line on nothing.
Fucking rumor and innuendo with this guy.
Yeah, no shit. He's fucking worse than Front Row Brian.
I heard that the UFC paid him to just go away so Ronda could fucking top the Australian card.
All right, let's talk about another almost undeserved given title shot. Jessica. What the fuck am I talking about? The strawweight title fight.
Should we just start this show over?
We should, dude. I think this just got fucked.
This is awful. Except for the 7 people watching right now, I recommend everybody just shut this one down. Don't judge us on this show.
All right. Anyway, so not announced at the same time, but the next day, I think it was, or at least a couple days later, it was reported that strawweight champ Joanna Jędrzejczyk might actually be moved to that same card as Ronda Rousey, and it was supposed to be not against Claudia Gadelha, but against Valerie Letourneau. Ultimately, they couldn't book that fight because Letourneau couldn't be ready in time for UFC 193. But skipping over Claudia is kind of fucked up. You know, it's pretty weak, and it would be another undeserved title shot being given to somebody, right? I mean, Letourneau, she looked impressive in her last fight, but she doesn't look ready for a title fight. She looks like she'd be fed to a fucking wood chipper.
Did she look impressive in her last fight? Because I beg to fucking differ. That fight put me to fucking snooze town, Jack.
I thought she was going to get stepped quick.
I thought that fight sucked.
That's because you're a misogynist prick.
Where'd that come from? I most certainly am not. I'm an open-minded hippie. But that
no, you're not. You hate women fights. You're always like, I don't know why people can't say that women fights suck. Those fights suck. Except for Ronda Rousey.
It's the same fucking fight I'm speaking about. This fucking Paterno broad. That fight sucked.
I didn't think it sucked. I thought it was a competitive fight.
Ooh, that's cute. You thought it was a competitive fight. That's like saying I like you better as a friend. A competitive fight. That fucking fight was not great.
Fuck.
And I don't know if you guys are looking at this, but Mike Jarvis just tweeted out a picture of some lady boy. It says, "Leave Davey Boy alone."
You know what we gotta leave alone? We gotta leave Twitter and fucking YouTube alone right now. Shut up, all you assholes. We're trying to do a show.
All right, so on a serious note, though, skipping Claudia Gadelha, for Letourneau is pretty fucked up. It's not a fight. Who wants to see Joanna just destroy Letourneau, Aaron?
I don't understand it because Gadelha was on social media saying, "I'm not hurt. I'm ready to compete." So I don't understand. If this keeps happening where instead of the actual dangerous competitor being put up against the champion that is all of a sudden sponsored by Reebok and very popular, what the fuck? Really? Why Letourneau? Just like what Fred said. Honestly, she hasn't fought the level of competition or won an impressive fashion to get a title shot. Everybody's calling to see the rematch with Gadelha because it was such a razor-thin fight the first time. So what? Why are we not giving the number one contenders the title shots now? Why don't we just do that in all divisions? How about, fucking give Patrick Cummins the next title shot at heavyweight? Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Let's go down and find the number 8 or number 9 guy in all the divisions and just fucking throw him through the wood chipper and see what the hell happens. Let's just drive the ratings right down into the fucking toilet. I don't like it at all.
Sometimes you would think there'd be a reason. Like, at least with Conor, he was fucking shooting his mouth off and he had a lot of popularity. Why the fuck would they do this with this broad? Nobody's even really calling for that fight. You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense at all, like, on any level. Why? Who the fuck wants to see that fight? That actually kind of is really surprising. Kind of comes out of left field. Like, who?
Yeah.
What the fuck would she get a title shot for? Like, based on what?
It almost seems like what they're doing is whoever won their last fight. It's like, let's see who wins. Oh, yeah, Valerie Letourneau, she won her last fight. Fuck it.
Give her to her. It's stupid. I don't like it. If you're going to skip Claudia, why go all the way down to rank, 10 or 9 or whatever the hell she's ranked? Why not go to 3? Why not go to Rose? Why not go to someone else that hasn't fought in a while?
I gotta say, I appreciate the way English disrespects people. Sorry, Nick, to not be listening to your point there, but English was calling Aaron a fuck weeble, and that's just awesome. I mean, anytime you can call somebody a fuck weeble, that holds precedent over any of this other bullshit we're talking about.
If you don't follow Andrew Reed on Twitter, you're missing out a lot of this shit. At Revelation137, just fucking follow that dude. He says his insults might be the best. This top-notch shit. Anyway, moving on here. Let's talk about UFC reinstating Travis Brown. If you remember recently, Travis Brown was actually suspended after his estranged wife accused Brown of domestic abuse. Her name is Renee Webb. She posted photos on her Instagram of bruises on her arms, on her face, on her neck, and then basically said that Travis Brown did it. Now, the UFC conducted one of their independent investigations and found that the evidence was inconclusive and did not support the allegations, so Brown has been reinstated as of last Friday. Both the UFC and Travis Brown put out a statement, put in the usual bullshit, whatever. I didn't,
You know what? Okay. All right, that's enough details. I'm gonna stop you. The UFC having their own independent investigations is like fucking Joey and Vinny coming by and doing an independent investigation for the fucking Gambini family. You gotta be fucking shitting me with this. Nobody's ever guilty when the UFC does an independent investigation. They're like, look, did Travis Brown smack you around? Yes. Well, break your fucking thumbs. Did he smack you around? No. Inconclusive evidence that you're full of shit. We're out. You know, it's just, come on. I am sure that some of these guys are guilty. They seem to be serial offenders. I don't know about Travis Brown, but I will say the two funniest things I've ever seen about Travis Brown. There is a picture that floats around on the internet with him in a very, very small Speedo. Have you guys seen this?
No.
It's a tiny Speedo.
No.
A tiny Speedo. I guess he dropped a lot of weight, and so he wanted to show off that he was thin. It also showed off that he might have some sort of micro-penis disorder. The other thing is the look on his face when they were taking a picture of the kid, but actually taking a photo of Ronda and Brown out on a date.
Oh yeah. I've seen that one.
Like that's the look you get when your dick is inside of somebody else besides your wife.
It's like shit. So, okay, so do you believe that though? Do you believe that he messed around with Ronda Rousey?
You know I don't believe it.
He's a beard. He's a beard. We already know what he's doing.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, you know that I don't believe it. That's a smokescreen.
But you know what, though? Let me tell you something.
I haven't heard the term smokescreen used in so long.
I don't care that they reinstated him. If the police didn't prosecute him of anything, then what the fuck? I don't give a fuck if that hoe posted pictures of her with bruises on her titties on Instagram. What the fuck does that mean? She posted some bruises on herself and said Travis Brown did it. What the fuck? And they just broke up? What kind of bullshit is that? Like, everybody, like, we immediately just fucking suspend him. I mean, what the fuck, man? Like, you know, yeah, of course they let him back. And if the fucking police didn't come arrest him for that shit, it's bullshit, right?
Everybody just stop watching this episode. Go back to last week. Last week was funny.
What? Did I say something wrong?
I don't give a shit if he did whip that bitch's ass.
No, listen, if he did it, I care. But that
no bullshit, dude. That was that close to you saying that. The police didn't say he did it, so fuck a bitch. I don't care if he knocked her head off. Get him back in the goddamn cage. The heavyweight division is thin.
These are all good points.
Oh, shit. Now, the last guy we saw that was being investigated independently was Anthony Johnson, and actually, Nick was talking to somebody that had accused Mr. Johnson of that on Twitter. Have you talked to her at all after that?
No, she refuses to message me back, probably because she watched the show. I doubt it. And heard us talking shit about her. But I need to send that to Aaron and Fred to see what they think. But that shit's actually... Apparently, it was the girl that accused him the first time of abusing her and has text messages and everything, and told me that she moved to Australia to get away, and Dana White told her that don't worry about it, we'll compensate you and shit like that. Like it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Well, yeah, she heard all that. Of course she did.
Policy. I like that policy. UFC will give you a plane ticket to someplace tropical, set you up in a nice room. Don't worry about it. If one of our fighters fucking lambastes you, we'll take good care of you. Just drop the charges and let us run our goddamn business, lady.
And then she said she gave birth to his daughter last August.
Who are we talking? Are we talking about Travis?
Anthony Johnson.
Anthony.
Oh.
Let's just clarify for the fucking 2.5 people that are actually watching. What the fuck are we talking about? Nick, are you in personal contact with this broad? You trying to fuck her? What's happening?
She followed us, me and Eddie, and then messaged me. Or I messaged her. I was like, hey, fuck it. Why not? Let's see what happens. And yeah, directly.
Yeah, what do you mean see what happens? You was asking her about fucking Anthony throwing her a smack?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony Johnson, this is all on Nick Pilecki. Pilecki, right here, the black-looking
right
guy.
You know what? let me take a little credit for this too. Because
Fred and I have nothing to do with this.
No, listen.
Fred has everything to do with
it.
it.
No, listen. I'll take the credit. If AJ needs to throw somebody a beating, he can beat me because I need somebody to sue. I'm trying to get paid.
That's that Dayton mindset right there. Hit me so I can sue, motherfucker.
Hold the neck, break my arm or something. It's not my pretty face.
Break his jaw. Wire that shit shut for a couple weeks.
Anyway, next topic. Let's go.
We don't have topics this week.
Oh, we did, and then everything just went to shit. So
hey, look you're the host, fucko. Get it under control.
All right. Anyway, let's actually talk about Fedor since that's a big fucking news today. First of all, I know you're not loving this. He's like, fuck this, I'm out. No, but for real though, Fedor announced to turn to MMA. He hasn't signed with anybody yet. Supposedly Bellator bowed out of the Fedor suite.
Jesus, that was disturbing.
I can't fucking stop, dude. Anyway, so Bellator supposedly bowed out of that shit. Isn't interested right now. Maybe later down the road, supposedly when he's fucking 80 or whatever. But then Fedor posted some shit on Instagram, which got people fucking riled up, of himself with the UFC banner behind him, but a little higher up over his head. And then Dana White posted a smile in the comments. So anyway, today Combat Press, I don't know how fucking credible they are, but Combat Press came out and said the UFC had signed Fedor, but then Fedor's managers and then Kevin Iola from Yahoo, Ioli, thank you, from Yahoo, both came out and said, yeah, that's not true. So Nick, if Fedor signs with the UFC, can he hang with today's heavyweights?
No.
Only if he has some Jesus juice. It goes on. All right, Aaron, what do you think? What do you think of? I mean, okay, since you're the most angry motherfucker about it. First of all, I know we were tagged on something on Facebook that had to do with Fedor, and you and I had the same reaction, like, who cares?
That's just it. First off, what I find funnier, did we just lose Nick? Is he gone?
Yeah, his soul just perished.
God damn, this show's so bad he just died.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with the whole Fedor thing. I'm not too worried about Fedor. I'm worried about Scott Coker's stance on Fedor. He's a little bit too fresh. We're going to wait till he's real fucking old before we try to sign him. Why? Just don't lie. He wanted too much money. Viacom and Coker weren't ready to give him the amount of money because I think this is one of those things where Dana White is enticing Fedor with a lot of money so Bellator doesn't end up with that iconic name. But is he going to do anything in the UFC? Let's think about it realistically. Do any of you guys that are left on the show before your souls perish really believe that at this age Fedor Emelianenko is going to make a run for the heavyweight title in modern UFC, never having fought in a cage? Is that right? He's never fought in a cage?
He's fought, I think, in Strikeforce he fought in a cage, right?
Did he? Okay, because remember, Crow Cop had a real hard time. Yeah, Crow Cop had a real hard time with the cage. A lot of these Pride guys don't translate very good to the UFC.
You know what?
I don't know. If they do sign him, great. I just see it being one of those freak show signings. I don't see him holding the title or even making a serious run for it.
You know what? I actually completely disagree with you, man.
Oh, what a fucking
surprise.
Listen, first off, signing Fedor is always a big deal. He might be a bit long in the tooth at this point, but he's a huge name. So that, and listen, for as much shit as you guys sit around shooting your mouth off about, you'll be interested when he fights. If he gets signed with the UFC after all this time and being in the cage against elite fucking competition, you'll be excited. And I'll tell you right now why he very well can make a run at that title. Matter of fact, I'm just going to name one guy. Matter of fact, you go ahead and name him for me, Aaron. What guy would I name as a prime example in modern UFC? He'll be fighting fucking soon. Is a prime example of anything's possible, man.
Are you talking about Frank Mir?
No, I'm talking about the prick he's fighting.
Arlovsky, yeah.
Come on, man. If Arlovsky's funny ass with his fucking small... Okay, fuck it. I'm not going to disrespect the pit bull. But we all know he's had some mental shit. We know he's had a lot of fucking obstacles to overcome. If he can get his shit together... Listen, I think Fedor could compete in the UFC. I think before...
Fred, do you even watch this sport?
Listen, he fucking had bad game plans, man. Fabricio Verdum is the champion now. He's the champion now. Hold on, man. I'm fucking being serious. He's the champion now. He got into a fucking gunfight with Dan Henderson, who he had rocked right before he got knocked out. And Bigfoot was juiced out of his fucking mind when he laid on him and beat him like a fucking giant. So, to think that fucking dude can't compete, who do you guys think is going to stop Fedor out? Do you think that Fedor couldn't beat fucking Arlovsky or Frank Mir? Because I would actually pick Fedor in both those fights right now, tomorrow.
So apparently, yeah, I don't know.
No, but I wouldn't pick Fedor over Mir.
No.
Over Arlovsky, maybe because of his lack of a technical ground game. But Frank Mir is one of the best on the ground. You're not going to get a Fedor. You're not going to get an easy Fedor submission over Frank Mir. I just don't see it.
No. He would knock Frank out. Make no mistake about it. Dude, I don't know if you guys, it's been a while since he fought, but you remember Fedor fought like fucking Mike Tyson on the feet, man. It even got him knocked out against Henderson. Like, he didn't come out and pussyfoot around. He would probably put some fucking leather on Frank Mir quick and fast. And he ain't fucking Todd Duffy. I'm excited.
Real quick, Code Blue, we know him on Twitter. All of us know him on Twitter now, but on YouTube he says, Fedor versus Travis Brown's wife. We know she can take the punishment. That's fucking.
He's disgusting.
That's the titty guy, right?
Yeah, that's the titty guy.
And the other comment he put up was he was talking about Travis Brown's wife. He says, that chick is so hot, I'd fuck her in front of Travis while he eats popcorn and beats off to Ronda Rousey.
That's really gross.
Oh my God.
I've been beaten for that, but, you know, whoever turns him on.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Anyway, so okay, I agree with you with Aaron that maybe his asking price is way too high. I don't think he can compete with any of the heavyweights really, unless you give him like Anthony Hamilton, like they're gonna give Crow Cop. Dude, no.
And you cute cocksuckers are asking me if I watch this sport. You really think Fedor fucking Emelianenko can only beat Anthony fucking Hamilton, who fucking a modern R&B singer comes up with?
Okay. Brendan Schaub, I'll give him that.
Oh, you know what? We need to switch the topic. You're being disrespectful now. I can't stand that dude. Him or Nate Corey.
Dude, we're being realistic. Fedor hasn't fought in what now, 3 years?
Yeah, at least.
That shit matters.
He's a mythical creature.
No, he isn't. Dan Henderson whipped his ass. Fabricio Verdum whipped his ass. He's been whipped. He was a mythical creature back in the Pride days when he was fighting huge fucking Ho Chi Minh or whatever the fuck, that goddamn giant. And he was doing all of his freak fights. Then he was a fucking mythical creature. Now he is an old Russian dude that hasn't fought in 3 years, that has never competed against UFC quality fighters. And that is a fact, Jack, because who's in the UFC right now? The 3 guys that whipped his ass.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Not a fucking coincidence.
Dan and Bigfoot was cheating. They were both fucking TRT'd out of their mind, and Fabricio Verdum is the fucking king.
All right,
you just got excuses all day long, don't you?
they're not excuses. It's fucking true. He had 3 losses. Dan Henderson knocks out fucking apes. I mean, fucking, it's not that bad.
Is that a confirmed fact?
Yeah, man, he fucking knocks out horses and animals and fucking Tyrannosaurus Rexes and shit. He can knock out anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he hits you, you go to fucking sleep, including fucking mythical Fedor. But I don't know. Listen, all bullshit aside, the 3 years thing does worry me. But I think that if Fedor is 80% of the fighter he was before, if he comes out and he's still aggressive and he's still strong and he's still able to do pretty much what he did before, getting triangled by Verdum, getting sat on by fucking Bigfoot, and getting caught by Dan Henderson doesn't make you a shitbird. And Anthony Hamilton, how dare you?
Yeah, that's bad. And I would think that Andrew Reid would probably beat up fucking Brendan Schaub at this point. Not too worried about that. Okay, and Andrew just came by, was like, Fedor, yay, I'm queer. He will walk through the heavyweight division except for the top 3. Can you pull up the rankings?
Yeah, let's have a little fun with this. Stop being assholes. Who would you like to see Fedor fight in his first fight? Let's say he does sign with the UFC and the MMA gods finally give us our fucking blessing. Who would be a good, fun first fight for him? Because I think you got to give him a name. You know
who I'd like to see him fight? Fucking Alistair Overeem.
Huh.
Well, that depends on what happens with him and fucking Dos Santos, right? Like, they got to do that now.
We already know what's going to happen with that. Fucking,
that's why you're lining Overeem up for him, huh?
Alistair Overeem is going to wake up and be like, what the fuck just happened?
You want me to fight Fedor?
Exactly. So the Reem is ready to fight Fedor.
All right, so top 3 heavyweights in the UFC. Number 1, Cain Velasquez. Number 2, JDS. Number 3, Stipe.
See, dude, honestly, all bullshit aside, I swear to God, I think JDS is the only one that beats him in that fucking...
Get the fuck... Cain would murder him.
How? With his smothering fucking ground and pound?
Get
out of here. Cain better go win a fight and stay healthy.
Jesus Christ, my ear's bleeding, Fred.
Fucking
Andrew Reid just came up with the top 2 that make sense to me as well. Crow Cop or Overeem.
I like that.
I like both of those. So quit being such a whiny twat, Andrew.
Fucking, and then Nick says Fedor over Dan Henderson again.
Why?
Oh, man, I'm glad your motherfucking computer went out, Nick. Fucking, we banned him from fucking the account. Dan Henderson again. It's the worst fight I could possibly think of. Fucking middleweight.
You know why Nick got a hold of us and said Anthony Johnson knocked down his door and took him off the show.
That's why he said he went out, yeah.
He's tweeting from a fucking trunk.
Exactly. It's like he smashed my modem over my fucking head and stuck me in a Lincoln Town Car.
I love that you say a Lincoln Town Car. That's good.
Oh shit. All right. So no bullshit. All bullshit aside, though, if UFC gets Fedor, it's gonna be numbers. It's gonna be money. It's gonna be a draw. And so I mean, it'll be good for everybody. I just want to know what kind of money they're offering them that Viacom can't cover. So.
They offered him $50 and a bag full of beets. Fucking Russians love beets.
Maybe Viacom just don't want to take the risk either. Maybe Scott Coker's like.
Yeah, you know what? I think it might be something besides that because really, I mean, I don't think it's a financial thing. Fedor is fucking set. He is a true legend over there, and he's best friends with Putin. I don't really think he's haggling for a few bucks. I think it had to do with exposure. What kind of exposure am I going to get at Bellator? What kind of exposure am I going to get in the UFC? And I seriously doubt it was Scott Coker saying, we don't want Fedor Emelianenko until he's older. That was his way of backpedaling and being like, we couldn't get him because he's not interested in being on fucking Spike TV. He wants to be on pay-per-views.
Here's my thing. You said it, Aaron. Fedor, A, has plenty of money, and B, don't give a fuck about money. And I actually believe that about that dude. I think that dude could retire to a Russian mountainside, fucking raise some sheep, his fucking kids, his old lady, and not fucking worry about shit at all.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah. He gave us the double figures. Hey, you got out of the trunk? Did they have like a release on the inside or some shit? Now he's frozen. Oh, there he is.
No, he's mute.
Jesus Christ, Nick.
I whooped Rumble's ass and we're all good. Let's go. What are we talking about?
Please.
Now we're gonna get sued.
Yeah,
no. Whatever Davey Boy just said, Fedor versus CM Punk, I think he's drunk.
I want to see that kind of.
He's like that. He's that real drunk girl at the party that just says shit for attention, like, "Oh, my shorts fell off." Don't ever listen. Don't ever listen to Davey Boy.
Is that what real drunk girls at your parties say? Oh, looky there, my shorts are gone.
All right.
They only say it once.
Yeah, I bet they do, fucking Bill Cosby.
I was gonna say,
shit. With the Cuban jam and the pudding pops.
All right, let's move on to the last topic of the night. UFC 191 this weekend. Johnson versus Dodson 2. We'll talk about the top 3 fights. One of them, incidentally, is Anthony Rumble Johnson against Jimmy Manuwa. Manuwa stepping in for Blackowitz. I don't know how the fuck to say that.
Yeah.
That guy.
Jan.
There you go, that guy. Anyway, so for some reason, Jimmy Manuwa was super fucking confident, saying he has no idea how Rumble could beat him. We've seen Rumble destroy guys not named Daniel Cormier in just devastating fashion. Nick, what do you think of Jimmy Manuwa's statement there?
He's gonna die. Did you see him almost destroy DC in that first punch? You hear that crack? Did you hear that crack? That crack is gonna knock Jimmy Manuwa on his ass. So, I don't know what he's smoking.
Definitely.
I'm smoking a little bit of what he's smoking, to be honest with you. I think that listen, Jimmy Manuwa likes to box, right?
Yeah.
True.
I mean, I think Daniel Cormier is a shitty boxer. He's a great fighter, but he's not a very good boxer. So, of course, AJ popped him in his fucking grill. And who is fucking AJ destroyed other than Diet Nog? Yeah, that was scary, but Little Nog is, Little Nog. He's fucking old and decrepit and shit. I think that fucking AJ will win the fight, but I think this idea that Jimmy Manuwa is just going to get steamrolled. I mean, who has Jimmy lost to other than Gustafson?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but
I don't think nobody.
I'd have to look it up. But you guys noticed I switched my earpiece. I couldn't take any more bullshit in my right ear.
the left ear, though, is good to go.
The only fight that he's lost in the UFC is against Gustafson. So he beat Ryan Jimmo. He beat Kyle Kingsbury.
Oh, so the list of people everybody beat.
Okay,
yes,
but
exactly.
Who is AJ beat?
His girlfriends.
Oh, I was thinking about saying that. I didn't say shit. God damn it.
So
don't even say who he's beat. It doesn't matter. That was it. That was the punchline. Give your fucking thoughts, Dr. Feelgood, since your fucking left ear is decrepit with shit now.
No, it's my right ear. You filled that with all sorts of screams and bullshit. Change over to my good ear. My thoughts. I think, to tell you the truth, I think it'll be a competitive fight, and I think Manuwa has a better gas tank. So if Anthony Johnson doesn't get it done fast, he might get fucked in this fight. I think Anthony Johnson's whole persona was blown out of proportion by the Little Nog fight. Yeah, it was a really, really devastating knockout. But Edson Barboza almost killed Terry Edom. There's actually suspicion that Terry Edom is dead because I ain't never seen him after that fight. But we all know that Edson Barboza isn't that fighter. We have seen vicious performances out of fighters, and then that galvanizes us, and we're like, ooh, Anthony Johnson, he made fucking Little Nog's ears waggle. You know what I mean? But in his other performances, lack of a gas tank, lack of focus. Yeah, he hits really hard, and if he lands the shot on Manuwa could go to sleep. But I think that, honestly, I think that Jimmy's a better athlete overall. I think he'll be able to avoid the early storm, and if he does, I think rounds 2 and 3 will go to Manuwa, and he does actually have the capacity to finish him on the mat, I think. Honestly, once Rumble gets tired, he's pretty fucking useless when he gets taken down.
I mean, we saw that against Daniel Cormier, too.
like I said, man, styles make fights, and boxing is the sweet science, man. Jimmy Manuwa was a decent boxer. He could get right in the pocket and fucking clock AJ. I don't think he necessarily will. I think the smart money's still on AJ, but I think this fight is super competitive. I think it's a lot more competitive than fucking Blachowicz or whatever the fuck that fucking dude was before. I like this fight way more than that one.
No, I'm with you on that. All right, the co-main event there features two former heavyweight champs. Obviously, Artur Arlovski and Frank Mir. Obviously, popular thought, as it hasn't been completely cemented. Not to mention, when Dana White says you're gonna get a title shot if you win this fight, doesn't always mean you're gonna get a fucking title shot. But the thought is that the winner of this fight gets either Kane or Verdum, whoever wins that one. It seems like this fight this Saturday is gonna be a hell of a fight. Arlovski against Frank Mir. I think smart money's on Frank Mir this fight, especially if it goes to the ground. But the way Frank Mir's looked on the feet, he could knock him out. What do you think, Aaron?
I think it's a moot point because neither one of these cats have any chance against Kane or Verdum. Mm-hmm. Who do I take in the fight, though? Honestly, Mir looks like he's got his shit together. Like, he had to get off of the TRT, right? But it looks like he's one of the few athletes that did it, that took some time off, healed his body from the injuries, and learned how to train post-TRT. He's also continuing to learn. He has the striking coaches that seem to have got him set pretty well. Where Arlovski, I mean, let's be realistic. Arlovski's pretty one-dimensional, right? We really haven't seen a different look from Arlovski in 8 years.
At least.
Right?
Yeah.
Arlovski also has a suspect chin. Mir a little bit as well, but we've seen Arlovski go down from a tap. When he was outside of the UFC, I don't know if you guys watched some of the fucking shitbirds he was fighting that knocked him right the fuck out.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. I think that Mir packs a good punch. I also think that he'll go to his bread and butter if it turns out that he starts thumping his skull like he was doing to Hapa. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Mir on this one, but I don't give Mir any shot against either Kane or Verdum.
What about you, Fred?
I tell you what, man, I've been actually giving Joe Silva a lot of shit lately because there's been a lot of weird matchups, but I actually really love this matchup. And I hope they do give one of these pricks a fucking title shot after this because it's a fucking feel-good story either way. No matter who wins this fight, if they get a title shot, it's pretty improbable. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, whether it's Arlovski or Frank Mir, seeing either one of them actually fight for a title in fucking 2016 will be pretty fucking dope for fucking long-time MMA fans. You know what I'm saying? So that's tight. It's a win-win either way for the fans. I want Arlovski to win because I tend to like his style more, and I actually value his more recent wins more. Even though Bigfoot's a bit of a shitbird now, he's coming off a win. He can still fucking crack. And I think the Travis Brown win was pretty legit. Hell, Arlovski even got clipped in the fight. He looked aggressive. Arlovski's one of these guys I think really lives or dies in his own mind. It seems like when the fucker's on track and he comes out and he's positively, mentally in a good positive space, he's fucking really good. But when he gets, it's a weird fight though because Frank Mir's a lot like that too, man. When he's on track and his mind's in the right spot, he's dangerous as fuck. But I agree with Aaron though. I think Frank Mir wins this fight by having decent enough striking to hang with Arlovski on the feet, but having a noted advantage in the grappling department. And if he needs to, he's a big enough dude, he could probably drag Arlovski to the mat and force a grappling match. So,
yeah, no, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to, this fight will end up getting to the ground, and just we'll get a tap at some point there. Nick, what do you think of the fight?
I'm switching gears on it. I think Arlovski is going to take it. I think Frank Mir is going to pay attention, or he's going to be using his hands a lot more. Everyone's saying they worked on his boxing and everything. I think that's going to be his downfall. That he's going to stand with Arlovski, he's going to get clipped, he's going to get hurt. We saw it in his last fight against Todd Duffy. Todd Duffy did clip him a couple of times, and he just kept slugging, and he ended up catching that overhand left, which was a good move. That was a veteran move. He saw him drop his shoulder and just clocked him one. But Arlovski isn't Todd Duffy. He's been in the fight game forever too. So I'm taking Arlovski. I think that Frank Mir's just going to use his hands a lot more. He's going to be more confident with his hands. He's going to get clipped.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with that because he's got a good camper on him. I think they're going to know that Arlovski's coming out guns blazing, and he's going to change levels and dump him on his ass ASAP.
Well, that was his plan with Todd Duffy, and he said he even threw it out the window. He's like, all right, he wants to slug, fuck it, I'll slug. I've been working on my boxing. I think that's exactly what's going to happen this time, but he's going to be the one going down.
Yeah, but he also said at the end of that guys don't know what he's going to do now because he could either slug or he could follow a game plan and take their ass to the ground. So I think that Todd Duffy performance actually works to his advantage, and I think he will take fucking Arlovsky to the ground, put him on his ass real quick, and end the night as fast as possible.
We'll have to see.
Well, Nick X Micro, you keep talking into R2D2's penis, and we'll see what happens.
Did you buy your mic yet? Because I know you're going to buy one. Did you get it?
No, I don't want to look like I'm talking into a small silver dick.
If you haven't seen Nick, say something, because the people got to see that microphone.
Yes, hold on.
There it is. So yeah.
Now do this.
No.
Gross.
God. Okay, all right. It's already fucking 11 o'clock. So here we go. Karate Hottie versus Tisha Torres. Who wins?
Wait, we're forgetting the main event. Are you fucking serious?
We're building up to it, Nick. Jesus, have you ever seduced a woman? You build up.
I thought we were going over the card. We're going over the card. We're at the co-main, and then we go to Karate Hottie.
No, but let's talk about that one because Mike Jarvis wants to know what we think about it. I got Karate Hottie. I think Tisha Torres got exposed last fight.
Yeah, I got Karate Hottie by Tisha Torres fucking sucking the last fight.
Yep. That's how you just put on that one. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the main event now. The flyweight title, Demetrius Johnson defending, I think for the second time against John Dodson. And interesting note, Dodson had to run back to Albuquerque, birth of his daughter. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So it might.
Who are these two fighters?
Demetrius Johnson and John Dodson.
Little guys?
Sorry.
You know, one's got a alien-looking head.
Never heard of him.
God damn it.
Is that the one little black guy that really likes the Xbox?
The midget guy, yeah.
That's him.
Oh, yeah. You mean the whole division that nobody gives a rat fuck about?
Pretty much.
That's why Nick X Micro, I care about Tisha Torres versus the Karate Hottie. Because nobody gives a crap about this fight. It doesn't matter how fast they are or how many times Joe Rogan wants us to believe that he is the best fighter on the face of the earth. Nobody tunes into these fights. I like them, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be exciting as hell. But it decides nothing because nobody gives a shit.
And that's the reason why I hate fucking casual fans. Because they don't give a shit about this kind of fight. This has to be one of the best fights that the UFC can put on right now.
I will tell you this.
You guys know
I will tell you this. I hope Dodson gets it done this time.
I hope Dodson knocks Johnson out.
You know what?
Dodson could do it this time.
I'm not a casual fan, and I don't give a fuck about this fight either. I'm sorry, but Mighty Mouse does fuck all for me. Listen, yeah, we get it. He's technically good, and he's fast, but he doesn't inflict carnage on folks. They don't look like shit. Oh, go ahead. What are you going to say? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, finish your statement. Go ahead. Finish your statement.
You going to tell me about how he fucking knocked that prick out with one punch? Or how he lands his cute little armbar fucking 4.5 minutes into a fight?
Exactly.
I want to see
he always goes for the finish. Did GSP always go for the finish? No. Did all these other fucker fighters go for the finish? No. He goes for a finish.
GSP's hanging out with the aliens, all right? Enough with GSP.
So he's hanging out with Demetrius Johnson. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. Listen, man, the problem... Did you see how fucking Rory McDonald looked after he fought Robbie Lawler? Did you see what his face looked like?
Yep.
Do that to people. Fucking do something that when fucking I see that Mighty Mouse is on a card, I go, yo, last time I saw him fight, he almost killed that dude. Like, do something.
He weighs 100. Fred, he weighs 125 pounds. They can only generate so much force.
You know what? You're being a prick. That is complete horseshit. What the fuck? Anybody can beat the shit out of anybody. He's just got to throw them on the ground and start elbowing them hard as fuck in their face. He's got to be relentless and stop playing his Xbox and stop being all fucking cutesy.
You should definitely get a hold of him and offer your services as his coach, you mouthy fucking prick.
I would if I thought he'd fucking hire me. He needs. I tell you what, he needs a new. Quite frankly, a lot of these guys need new PR guys. They need somebody like me in their life.
I'll tell you what, Fred, you got kids, right?
I do.
And maybe these two will get the reference, but I think the best thing for Mighty Mouse to do is change his nickname to Megamind.
Yeah.
If you painted him blue, doesn't that motherfucker just look like him?
God damn it.
Yeah, now that I think about it,
there's a strong resemblance, man. There's a strong resemblance. But you know what?
There is.
It is odd that he's such a great fighter and nobody really cares about his fights. And you know what, Nick? You and everybody else can tell me about how cute he is and how fast he is and how it's technically brilliant and he's one of the greatest fighters on planet Earth. But in the grand scheme of things, you don't got butterflies in your fucking stomach when Mighty Mouse is walking out. Nobody does. And that's the fucking problem.
And that's the bottom line.
Because Fred Kirby said so.
That's so.
On that note,
let's put this piece of shit to bed.
Yeah. On that note, all right. Well, I know you guys have just released a new episode of Stand and Bang. So, Aaron, why don't you tell people about it?
It's me and Fred talking to Damian Maya.
Oh shit.
As you can tell, there's a lot of anticipation for this episode.
Because he said that with no emotion. We talked to Damian Maya.
That's how Damian Maya did the interview. Hello.
Yeah, I heard it.
No. You know, Damian's a real intelligent guy. He was very gracious with us. Had a couple of really good quotes in there. You know, talked about the staph infection and why he thinks he might suffer from those. It's about the weight cutting. Dana White asked him to be a little bit more risky, more aggressive to finish fights within the distance. And then we kind of just let the fans know that we're taking a little hiatus from the old Stand and Bang because we're getting too busy to deal with prima donna fighters. Really.
It's true.
We need to get the oh shit as a fucking sound clip for the show.
We talked to Damian Maya. Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's so perfectly timed.
Skin.
It was perfectly timed.
That's Eddie's homework.
I'm telling you what, we should do that for the beginning of the show. Are you guys ready for Keyboard Warriors? Oh shit.
Let's work on that. See what we can do.
Good soundbite.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check that out, including the Intellectual Musings of Three Idiots, which is one of my favorite shows, starring Fred, Aaron, and our friend Andrew Reed. You have to listen to this shit. It's fucking hilarious. And if you watch Keyboard Warriors enough, you'll get to know more about these two guys and Andrew Reed, who's kind of like the mysterious figure who's been on the show maybe once or twice. I think we try to have him on. So, anyway, that's going to do it for us tonight. You can follow Nick at NickXMicro. Fred is at Kirby_MMA and at Gem City Fighting. Aaron can be found at Stand and Bang Radio. And you can follow the show at Keyboard MMA and myself at Elaw31. Make sure you come back next week as we look at current events through the screen of a keyboard warrior, kinda, and we talk all kinds of bullshit. Thanks for joining us tonight, and everybody have a good night.